What's happening, man? It's your boy Profhit here today to talk about my group's upcoming album titled Chapter 1, The Pillage. Our group name is Solo Mob, and I'm here to talk about that album and talk about one of my favorite books of all time by one of my favorite authors, Octavia E. Butler, Parable of the Talents. And essentially, with the title of the album, I wanted to do something different and tie that into my love for books. I'm an avid reader, and kind of just do something different, give people a different way to come to what we're trying to do. I believe, a great book starts off with a great chapter 1. And same thing with a great album. How an album starts off, sets the tone, gets you ready, and it kind of takes you for that ride. Parable of the Talents, it's a crazy book. I came to it from one of the book clubs that I joined. I kind of read it on my own because I kind of came to it at different times. I got a large queue of books, so I couldn't read it at the same time, but I dove into it with the understanding that it's kind of like futuristic, dystopian, and that's really up my realm. Like I've always loved science fiction and the paranormal and all those things of those natures. And it's just the idea that this book was written before the new millennium in the 90s, I believe, and set in 2020 to 2030. And that was just wild to me, because to have that type of foresight, that type of focus to write something that far ahead is genius. And to be able to capture the future almost prophetically is what really like caught me. Like it pulled me in. I feel like this book really gives you insight to what the last 10 to 12 years of America has been like, with the first term of Trump and the first term of Biden and the now second term of Trump, and how that ties into, the album. We kind of, our pseudonym or our calling card is the Pillage or Pillage. And, that's a wartime term to, go in, take everything, and, cause a ruckus, and basically like what the Vikings used to do. And that's kind of like what we do musically is we're going in, we're taking everything of value, especially in today's industry with the mainstream lacking a lot of talent and losing the recipes that really was important in a common theme through music back in the day, or 2000s, whatever you want, however you want to call it. We pillaging the music industry, we're pillaging the resources, we're pillaging the garbage and the trash and exterminating it and cleansing the game. So I'm gonna read a couple of excerpts from the book that I feel kind of tie into the album and the idea of pillaging, and that really spoke to me when I was reading the book. So each chapter kind of starts off with a somewhat religious proverb. And some of the ones that spoke to me are one in chapter 5, from Earthseed, the books of the living. Beware, at war or at peace, more people die of unenlightened self-interest than any other disease. Human competitiveness and territoriality were often at the root of particularly horrible fashions in oppression. To me, I feel like that's very similar to the climate of times, politically, internationally, globally. We're at crazy times, and I feel like being Americans, we kind of have this plush protection from all the things going on outside of the world. And there are people who are outspoken and trying to make change, but similar to one of the characters in the books, I feel like that is not the end-all be-all for change. We have to do more. We have to be more aggressive with our actions. We give our dead to the orchids in the groves. We give our dead to life. Death is a great change, is life's greatest change. Darkness gives shape to the light, as light shapes the darkness. Death gives shape to life, as life shapes death. God in the universe. Chapter 2, page 19. Chaos is God's most dangerous face. Amorphous, roiling, hungry. Shape chaos, shape God, act. Alter the speed or the direction of change. Vary the scope of change. Recombine the seeds of change. Transmute the impact of change. Seize change, use it, adapt and grow. Chapter 1, from Earthseed, the books of the living. Darkness gives shape to the light, as light shapes the darkness. Death gives shape to the life, as life shapes death. The universe and God shares this wholeness, each defining each other. God gives shape to the universe, as the universe shapes God.
Excited about the new album that you guys are getting ready to drop.
Yes, sir.
Going through this book, I actually read Parable of the Sower, have not gotten to Parable of the Talent, so I'm excited actually to read that. That's on my to-do list to read. Man, actually I will say what you said about the book being written so long ago, now into our days now, how she is hitting so true. How does the theme of the talent give inspiration to you about community, and does it influence your music or your creative process?
Yeah, the book kind of follows a past tense writing of a mother who started a community that was believed on an idea that they could, come together, create their own, build their own, grow their own, live off the land, and kind of avoid the dystopian anarchy, kind of a purge stuck society that they're living in, and prosper. And it was, in today's climate, people would call it a cult, but yeah, so, the foundation of that and what they were trying to build is similar to what we're trying to build, what we go by. And, I feel it's intertwined. A lot of the foundation and the beliefs that it was created on are similar to what we believe, how we have come together and built our group and our collective and what we do in music.
You definitely got to get your hands on the Parable of the Sower. It definitely takes you through this dystopian where we're living in a post-apocalyptic world of bad decisions. People are in their own communities and they have their own belief systems, and basically the powers that be come through, pillage, take over, and it sends Olamina off in search for this journey. And when they finally get to where they get and they build their own, they're looked at as a cult, they're looked at as other, and now they're becoming this group that is seen pushing back against the grain, but they just want to mind their business. Kind of like Oklahoma that they did for, when they bombed.
Yeah, Tulsa.
Yeah, Tulsa. So, about your group, how do you guys connect with this and tie it into your music to give people, like, I don't know, a beacon light? Because you said, the music has changed, the seeds that we've planted or people have planted beforehand, they're not using that in music no more. What are you guys doing?
Essentially, we just having fun, man. The music that we make is a release, you know what I mean? Because we ain't no spring chickens, you know what I mean? We're all in our 30s. Our youngest member is like fresh in their 30s. Got a kid. My group partner, IMP, he just had his first son. He's got 2. So everybody's in their career, everybody's in their field, and kind of, the music is what brings us back together. It's our release, and yeah, that right there is the closest assimilation to what you can gather from Earthseed in the book, and what we're doing. And all of her works is top tier. So if you haven't checked her works out, definitely tap in.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, you new fathers in the 30s, of course you're doing music different. People might say, hey, leave the music to new and upcoming. But a theme in Lauren Olamina's character is that she is she's a hyper empath. And so she feels a lot. Now that you've grown, you've matured, right? You're not early 20s. How does that shape y'all music? Because one's a new father, one's got a kid, how does that shape it now?
Sacrifice, again, community, empathy. I feel like I'm similar in that fashion to an extent. I'm very. At times I could be hyper focused on the things going around in the world, and it can deeply affect me. But just trying to stay grounded, trying to stay active, trying to keep pressing on, and a lot of times, like we realized, with this album, we've been consistently making music. This is our first album release in almost 15 years, and we just realized, man, we just keep getting better. It just came to a point where it was just like we was just making so much music, so much good music. I was just like, man, we can't keep sitting on this. We got to do something with it. And I'm the one who's an active artist, always actively doing things, regardless of taking breaks. So putting this together was kind of like my arch type, my driver's seat work. But yeah, man, like a lot of the music, especially hip hop and rap, is driven by people 30 and up. And the people who are younger are not that good. And that's a problem. And there's a reason for it, you know what I mean? Society's being spoon fed what the people who are in power want to, and unfortunately, even with social media, there's still a hard time getting to the real shit, the good shit. Solo Mob is the group. The album is Chapter 1, The Pillage. We're looking to release it December 6, 2025. Yeah, man, and the first video is already out. A Tribe Called Daylight. Go check it out. YouTube.com/Profhit, Profhit. Music and Me Records.
You can't be conscious.
We doing it.
You can't be street. We just niggas that come from the streets, man, but we got